So your vice president, one of the points she's trying to run on now is that she's going to help secure the border. Her and the current president, Joe Biden, have made these statements saying that there have been fewer and fewer illegal migrants crossing the border over the last few months. Now, the question we all ask is what happened to the first three and a half, almost, hell, it damn near been 4 years. What happened to the first 3.75 years? When you just let the floodgates open, millions upon millions of these people come in, and y'all tried, still to this day, trying to blame Trump, saying that he wasn't even in office. That's what's crazy about it. But you say his influence, he had so much influence that there was a bill that was out that was going to shut the border down, and he single-handedly got it dismissed, got it trashed. Which, as we all know, because now in the age of information, we know that when it comes to laws, there's always more to the law than what they show you. Now they try to say that they had a law that it could be a bipartisan bill, which I don't know why it had to be that, but that the Congress had to approve that the borders would be shut down or a certain amount of people can come through. And but we know that that's not true because Trump said, remember, Trump said that the president, Joe Biden, could do it with the stroke of a pen. He can do an executive order to stop the border crossings. And they lied and said, the Democrats now. Your president, Joe Biden, and your vice president, Kamala Harris, lied and said, no, that's not true. It has to be bipartisan, it has to be through Congress. So then it went to Congress and then it got shut down. But it came because they tried, the Democrats tried to add on the back end of that bill more funding for the Ukraine war and to fund the Ukraine war. And the Republicans were like, why does this have to be put together? Why it just can't be separate? We separated because those are two big major issues. Let's just separate them. Let's deal with the border first, then we'll deal with the Ukraine funding. But Democrats like, no, you're gonna deal with both of them. So if the Republicans say no to one, that basically you can blame the Republicans that the Ukraine didn't get no money. And us American citizens really didn't care. So hopefully all of my great U.S. citizens did not forget that, or did not let that, did not gloss over that the way the Democrats tried to do. So, but now Kamala Harris, just even the other day, a couple of days ago, said the same thing. It's Donald Trump's fault that the border wasn't closed. Well, anyway, that's a bold-faced lie. Then this other story came across my news feed a couple of days ago, and let's react to this, okay? 13,000, I think you see the screen, 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of, these felonies, certain felonies, have been released into the U.S. Let's read. Let's watch.
Well, a disturbing development on the border crisis. Wait until you hear this. The Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement confirms that more than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States.
So, excuse me, this is how that worked. So you remember Joe Biden got into office and he said he's gonna kill Donald Trump's bill that he had. Was it title? I forgot the hell what it was. I'm getting the titles mixed up. But anyway, the moment he got into the office, he opened the floodgates, saying that all you certain, Venezuelans and anybody else who want to seek asylum can come to the US for a better life. And then millions upon millions showed up at the border. And what they do, they come across, they holler, I'm seeking asylum, I'm fearing for my life. They get not really detained, but they get brought to these places, information's taken, they give them a phone, give them a card, this, that, and the third. And when they give them the phone, they say, uh, now we're going to give you a court date, which might not be until 2028. But when we call you on this phone, we need you to show up to court. And I'm like, okay. And they run off, now go, and now you're free to move about the country, as Southwest Airlines used to say. And now you see how that's working out for us because it's messing up the economy for the common man. You know, a lot of us common folks can't get jobs. A lot of them can't get home. These people got shelters, you know, free money. They're getting debit cards with thousands upon thousands of dollars on it. These cats are getting cars. They're getting Uber jobs. And I, for one, am a person to say, hey, everybody should work. Everybody deserve, no, not deserve. They should work. They should be obligated to work because I mean that's just what the scriptures say. You don't work, you don't eat, right? Everybody should be working. So, with that said, you don't take jobs from your own citizens and give it to other people like that, right? But that's what your government done. So now they just let anybody in, and it seems as a lot of the people that they let in are convicted criminals.
The letter here tells the tale. Hello, I'm John Roberts in Washington. You believe this, Sandra?
Which means they are here. And this is just an unbelievable development. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. Good to be with you, John. This is America Reports. Let's get right to Bill Melugin. He's got this news for us. He's live out of Douglas, Arizona right now, where Vice President Kamala Harris is set to visit later this afternoon. Bill, the details of this news, what do you have?
Yeah, go on, tell us, Bill.
Yeah, and Sandra, bear with me. We just got these numbers moments ago, but it's a jaw dropper to say the least. So to set the stage here, let me just explain what these numbers mean. ICE has something called a non-detained docket. Essentially what that is it means migrants who were encountered by DHS but are no longer in federal custody. So who's on this non-detained docket? It's illegal immigrants who were caught and released at the border, released with the court date years away. They're in immigration proceedings, combined with illegal immigrants who have already been ordered deported from the country by a judge, but are still here roaming the country. So
I missed that part. So you got people who a judge said you got to get out of here, but somehow did not get deported. How does that happen? Let's
keep that in mind, this non-detained docket. According to a letter that the acting director of ICE just sent to Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez, on ICE's non-detained docket, they're currently tracking 425,000 non-citizens who have been convicted of a crime.
425,431 non-citizens convicted of a crime that they trying to keep track of so they can get them and get them up out of here if they can get the help from the federal government and local governments too. Y'all remember the movie Scarface? If you ain't seen, if you're too young to have seen it, I would say watch it. Don't get enamored. Don't get caught up in the whole glitz and glamour of selling dope and getting a lot of money. Because in the end, Tony Montana dies. Okay, brutally murdered. Hey, that's not the way you want to go out. But in the beginning of the movie, the part that a lot of people missed that was glossed over is that it was an issue between the U.S. and Cuba. I believe it's Castro and Reagan, and Reagan was like, you know, you let these Cubans come over here to America. If they want to come over here. Castro was like, no, nah, you can't get my best. Castro was like, why would I give you my best? That's what any country would say. Why would I send you my best people for what? And it was a whole back and forth. There was a lot of things going on, you know, politically, this, that, and third. So Castro said, okay, I give up. Wink, wink. I'm going to send over everybody you want. That dude emptied his jails, threw them convicts on the boat, and shipped them over here to Florida. Thousands of them. And everybody was cheering, like, yeah, you know, United States won. That tyrant Castro, he came to his senses, not realizing what he had done. Well, that's what's going on now. And Donald Trump told y'all that's what he was that's what these South American and Central American and Latin countries were doing. And even countries across around the world. That's what they were doing because who in their right mind would allow law-abiding, good citizens, or even the best citizens in your country, who would allow them to leave to go somewhere else and to make them rich or to bribe somewhere else and take money out of a country?
Of that number, over 13,000 non-citizens have convictions for homicide and are on the non-detained docket, meaning they're roaming the country right now. On top of that, there are another 15,811 non-citizens convicted of sexual assault.
I know y'all seen the stories of the Uber driver or the Lyft driver, non-citizen who this city's 15,811 people, people who are convicted of that sort of crime there. I know you heard about the Uber driver who did that. And then the 13,000, he did both of those to one of his passengers. You might say, well, hey, American citizens do that too. And I've seen that too. And they should be punished and put under the jail and probably just taken out altogether because it really need no trial. If you know they done it, just get rid of them or something like that. But we're talking about bringing people in that's doing these things. So let's say you got a house full of people. Let's say you got a house. Let's say you got a house like 15, 20 people in your house, living in your house. Just your mom, dad got 10 kids, and they're eating you out of house or home. And you just praying to God they grow up and they can start moving out so there'll be less mouths to feed. And the older they get, they can start fending for themselves, taking care of themselves, get their own jobs, help around the house. And you're doing okay. And then all of a sudden your neighbor's kids start coming over and they're like 6'4", 325, and like 4 boys. And they come over and they come over and then they just stay. Spend the night because they friends with your kid, but then they say, they never leave. And now they're eating up all your food. And then stuff start ending up missing. And then things start happening. People, fights start breaking out at the house. People, what I'm saying? And they don't want to do nothing. They just causing problems. And you'll be a fool to sit there and say, well, hey, I'm sure your kids, I'm sure they eat you out of house or home. Don't your kids eat too? Don't your kids, fight each other and get mad at each other? Don't you have to, don't your kids like be disobedient and you have to punish them? And you be like, yes, but those are my children. Your kids, you deal with your kids, however you deal with them. If they doing wrong, they can't come here. If you abusing your children, they can't come here. I feel for them. Okay, they can come here, but we're gonna call the authorities and let them deal with it. Because we can barely take care of our own tribe, let alone taking care of our tribe and yours too. That's why that saying doesn't make sense that, American citizens are doing that too. Yeah, but I don't want your bad people come over here doing it either.
Who are roaming the country right now on ICE's non-detained docket. It doesn't stop there. Those are convictions. The ICE director also says there are currently just under 1,900 non-citizens on the non-detained docket who have pending homicide charges who are roaming the country, and another 4,250 non-citizens who have pending sexual assault charges who are roaming the country on the non-detained docket. So people's eyes might be glazing over right now with all the numbers we just threw at you. Just to put it in a nutshell right here, what we've learned from the acting ICE director via this letter to Congressman Tony Gonzalez is right now, there are over 13,000 illegal aliens convicted of homicide who are roaming the United States right now. There are another 15,811 illegal aliens roaming the country right now who have been convicted of sexual assault. And there are even more who are facing charges for homicide and charges for sexual assault. So this just goes to show, guys, the non-detained docket has exploded under the Biden administration to over, I believe it's 7.3 million. They're anticipating it could hit 8 million by the end of the year. But looking at the numbers on this letter right here, there are currently over 600,000 non-citizens on ICE's non-detained docket who are either convicted, 600,000 non-citizens on this non-detained docket who are roaming the country right now. Of that, 425,000 have already been convicted of crimes. 222,000 are pending crimes. And again, the most serious crimes we just
So you got over 500,000 illegal refugees. No, forget that. Over 500,000 illegals in this country right now, either convicted or in the process of being convicted of felony crimes. And y'all think this is okay. Y'all think this is okay. What makes this worse than than a U.S. citizen, someone like you and I, committing these crimes and being free? We really don't have anywhere to go. They will eventually catch us. We see it time after time again. Crime is committed. Some citizen go on the run, gets plastered on the news, and they're always caught at with being with somebody that they know, whether it's family, mom's house, cousin's house, daddy living in California, mama living in Florida, whatever, sister living in Texas. They eventually gonna find them. They're gonna track cell phones, money, all this kind of stuff, and they eventually find them. These people, it's gonna be hard, nearly impossible to find because there's no real tracker on them. And if they get out and get loose, they can roam the whole country because they have no home, or they can just go back, cross that border. Like they said at the beginning of the video, that a lot of these people have already been like convicted and then deported back to their country, and then them sun guns came right back. So they can always go back to their home country whenever they feel like it. And again, for those of you who still gonna try to cape, because this is an issue that needs to be addressed. Like when they have them debates, and I know Trump say he don't want to do a debate, and I know Kamala doing these softball interviews, but somebody need to ask her, hey, look at this, look at these numbers. What are you gonna do about these folks, these convicts that are in your country, roaming your land, terrorizing your law-abiding citizens who shouldn't have to worry about these folks, because these folks can commit crimes and disappear again. You won't know who did it, who did it, and how, and where they went. And the crimes probably could never get solved. Somehow, but a lot of them probably will never get solved. How do you? What's your answer for this? How do you fix this? This is what you called. Now you're talking about you're gonna fix the border, but you caused this border problem. So, I mean, I guess how the heck you gonna fix it when it should have never been there in the first place? And that's the thing that bugs me. This never should have happened in the first place. They come over here, yes. A lot of them sneak in. You know, they try their best, and then your border patrol and your ICE, they look for them, they hunt them down, and they try to get them. Some of them get through, and what did he say? This is not even. Oh, let me finish. There's something else he said.
told you about. Over 13,000 convicted of homicide, over 15,000 convicted of sexual assault. And honestly, that is not a surprise to hear given these horrible headlines we keep seeing popping up in multiple parts of the country almost every day now of a horrible sexual assault or a murder or another violent felony committed by an illegal alien who is often caught and released from custody. And the jaw dropper here too, guys, is all these numbers we just rattled off, they don't even account for the nearly 2 million gotaways who have crossed our border under the Biden administration. Those almost 2 million gotaways, they were never encountered by DHS. They snuck in. They were never caught by Border Patrol. They were never encountered by ICE. There's no record of them. So they have nothing to do with the numbers I just rattled off to you. These are just the numbers of people that ICE has already encountered, that Border Patrol has encountered, that DHS knows who they are. And we just saw those horrible stories in Nantucket the other day. ICE ran a week-long operation in Nantucket, and in a single operation in a 48-hour span, they arrested 2 Salvadoran illegal aliens who came into.
I'm not gonna play that because I mean they're gonna say some crimes that I don't know that I can get away with. playing it on YouTube, but I mean Fox News can, but I don't know if I can, but I'll try to leave the link in the description box so you can watch this video for yourself. But he said over 2 million people that got over that nobody even knows. I don't know how how they know it's 2 million. That's probably just a guesstimate or roundabout, you know what I'm saying, roundabout number. There's no telling how many people are here. I mean, you see the stories of the apartment complex in Aurora, California, and then they say these gangs, these Venezuelan gangs in not California, I'm sorry, Colorado, uh, Chicago, Texas, Dallas, that they all over the country trying to set up shop, you know what I'm saying, terrorizing mostly the apartments where like, other uh non-citizens, those who may be trying to become citizens or those who just may be illegal. You know what I'm saying? Terrorizing their own people. And eventually, it's gonna get out and get to everybody else too. But this is terrible. But again, this is due to your president and your vice president. But yet, you just don't like Trump because he's Trump. I don't I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand this voting for party. We gotta do policy. We gotta do what's best for the people, not because I'm a Democrat and you're a Republican or vice versa. That's stupid. Because Democrats are gonna be the downfall of freedmen. And they've been doing it for 60 something years. And right now it's just culminating and it's just about to get a whole lot worse. But anyway, that's all I got for this story. Tell me what you think about it. Leave your comments below, share it with the world. Let's dialogue. Hey, I want to thank y'all for watching. Always don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you nothing but maybe a couple minutes out your day. Don't forget to go to marlonrally.com or just check out our store that's below this video and, find some products that I'm sure that you and your loved ones will not be disappointed in. With that being said, I leave you in peace and I'll see you on the other side.